Hi, viewers. Welcome to WW2 Untold Rising, the channel where history comes alive, and untold stories of World War II are revealed. Here, we dive deep into battles, strategies, and the heroes behind the scenes, the ones history forgot to mention. From daring generals to unsung soldiers, from secret intelligence to incredible maneuvers, every story we share uncovers the truth behind the events that shaped the world. So sit back, subscribe, and join us on this journey through the hidden tales of World War II. Because here at WW2 Untold Rising, history isn't just remembered, it's relived. December 1944, the calm before the storm. Winter had fallen over Europe, but the Ardennes forest remained deceptively quiet. The Allied High Command believed the German army was exhausted. After months of relentless fighting across France and into Belgium, the Wehrmacht seemed incapable of mounting any major operations. Yet, in the shadowed corridors of 3rd Army headquarters in Verdun, a quiet urgency hummed beneath the surface. American commanders were convening for an emergency conference. Reports poured in from the front, units were being pushed back, communications were sporadic, and the 101st Airborne, famously entrenched at Bastogne, was surrounded. The German offensive, a surprise attack through the Ardennes, had caught nearly everyone off guard. Supplies were scarce, morale was fragile, and panic was just beginning to ripple through the Allied ranks. Supreme Allied Commander Dwight D. Eisenhower asked the question everyone feared to answer: how soon can you attack? Most generals fell into the trap of conventional thinking. They spoke of logistics, reinforcements, and the need for weeks of preparation. Field Marshal Montgomery, the cautious British commander, insisted it would take at least a fortnight to reposition forces. Then George S. Patton, known for his audacity and rapid maneuvers, leaned forward. "I can attack in 48 hours with 3 divisions." A stunned silence filled the room. No one understood that Patton's words weren't bravado, they were the result of meticulous preparation, guided by a single, largely unsung figure, Oscar Koch. Oscar Koch, the man behind the intelligence. Oscar Koch was not a household name. He never commanded troops, never led men into battle. In most histories, his name barely appears. Yet, in December 1944, he was quietly shaping the outcome of one of the most critical battles in the European theater. Koch was Patton's G2, the intelligence officer charged with analyzing enemy movements and capabilities. He was precise, methodical, and relentless. Where others relied on intuition or reports that suited political or bureaucratic narratives, Koch relied on verifiable evidence. His work involved untangling German communications, decoding radio intercepts, scrutinizing prisoner interrogations, and following civilian reports that hinted at enemy activity. By early December, Koch began to notice something unsettling. German radio traffic had increased. Prisoners of war spoke of fresh divisions arriving from Germany. Civilians reported convoys moving at night and tanks concentrating in areas that should have been quiet. At first glance, higher command dismissed it all. The Germans were supposedly on the defensive, the divisions were reserves, the war would soon be over. Koch saw a different story. 15 full-strength German Panzer and Volksgrenadier divisions had vanished from the front lines. These weren't skeleton units, these were combat-ready formations, hundreds of tanks strong, concentrating where the Allies least expected. The pattern Koch detected screamed offensive intent, and the chosen terrain, the dense Ardennes forest with its narrow, winding roads, was ideal for a surprise strike. The warning and the plan. On December 9, Koch carried his evidence into Patton's office: maps marked with enemy positions, decoded radio traffic, intelligence summaries, and detailed analyses. He spoke with the calm authority of someone who had followed the trail of evidence meticulously. "Look here," he said, pointing to the Ardennes. "This is where the missing divisions are massing. Look at the terrain, dense forests, narrow roads, and only 4 American divisions holding the front. If they attack here, it will be a disaster within 2 weeks." Patton listened. He had worked with Koch for months and had learned to trust his analysis implicitly. Koch didn't deal in guesses or hunches, he dealt in patterns and probabilities. He had anticipated enemy movements before anyone else noticed anomalies in the reports. Patton's response was not to argue or delay. He ordered Koch to prepare contingency plans. If Koch was right, Third Army needed to be ready to respond instantly. And for the next 11 days, Koch and the staff quietly worked on plans that would seem impossible to anyone outside Third Army headquarters. Invisible preparation. The work was painstaking. Every detail was considered. Truck routes were plotted down to individual intersections to ensure rapid troop movement. Fuel depots were identified and stockpiled at critical nodes along the planned routes. Artillery units were pre-designated for redeployment, with every gun and ammunition load accounted for. Infantry regiments were assigned precise assembly areas, with marching schedules calculated to the minute. It was exhaustive and invisible to outsiders. While other commanders dismissed the contingency planning as unnecessary, Patton's staff knew it was essential. Koch's intelligence suggested that a massive German offensive was imminent, and Patton believed him. The Battle of the Bulge begins. At 5:30 a.m. on December 16, 1944, German artillery roared along an 80-mile front. Over 200,000 soldiers surged forward. Thousands of tanks and armored vehicles cut through fog and snow. The offensive that the Allied High Command had deemed impossible was underway. Elsewhere, confusion reigned. Communications broke down, commands contradicted one another, and many generals struggled to understand what was happening. At Third Army headquarters, the reaction was the opposite. Koch's prediction had been precise. Patton's contingency plans were ready. "You were right," Patton told Koch. "Get me the plans." Within hours, Third Army executed maneuvers that seemed impossible. Units disengaged from ongoing operations, pivoted north, and marched into winter chaos to relieve the surrounded 101st Airborne. Over 130,000 soldiers, thousands of vehicles, and tens of thousands of tons of supplies moved across icy roads with precision and coordination. The world outside believed it could not be done, but it was done. Patton's boldness, combined with Koch's intelligence, allowed Third Army to strike back almost immediately. The aftermath. By December 26, Bastogne was relieved. The German offensive, designed to split the Allied armies and alter the course of the war, was halted. German commanders later admitted that they had underestimated Patton's speed. They had expected to have more time, but Patton had been ready 11 days in advance. Oscar Koch had made the difference. He wasn't the one firing guns or leading charges, but his meticulous intelligence work allowed Patton to act decisively. Higher headquarters may have doubted, historians may have overlooked him, but Koch's insight saved thousands of American lives and prevented a potential disaster in the heart of Europe. Why Oscar Koch matters. Koch's genius wasn't in collecting information, it was in interpreting it. While others accepted convenient explanations, Koch looked for patterns, analyzed probabilities, and insisted on acting on the evidence. Patton's genius was in listening and trusting that analysis, even when others dismissed it. Together, they demonstrated a rare combination of intelligence and action. The Battle of the Bulge could have been a catastrophe. Instead, it became a testament to the power of meticulous preparation, clear analysis, and leadership willing to act decisively. Oscar Koch remains a largely unknown figure, but the outcome of December 1944 might have been unthinkable without him. Disclaimer. Disclaimer: this video is based on historical research and available sources. Some events and characters have been interpreted to enhance storytelling and viewer understanding. We aim to educate and inform, not to misrepresent history. Subscribe. Call to action. If you enjoy exploring untold stories of World War II, make sure to subscribe to WW2 Untold Rising and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Join us as we uncover the heroes, battles, and secrets that history books often forget.